to proceed.
Council, please let us proceed.
Yes, thank you. So I have, we're talking about the payments made to councillors. I have two vouchers here. The payments made to Kemo Bojang. Please go through these vouchers. They are exhibit LAC/KB KMC 004 and 002. Yes, both 004.
Okay. Community outreach.
So you authorize those payments to Kemo Bojang?
Yes.
What is the first voucher for the payment? The first voucher you have?
This one is training for youth and support for political participation.
How much was paid to Kemo Bojang?
It was $2,700. Oh my God.
Yes. And the second one?
The second one is $15,000.
Now, what was the payment for?
Request for face mask support.
What is the date of the first one? The date it was issued?
Yes, the date of the request was 28 December 2020.
The second one?
The second one is, the request was 25th October 2020.
The first is in 2021, you said?
The first one was in 28 December 2020.
The second one?
Was in October 25th, 2020.
Now, the one for October 2020, is it not the case that it has to be retired before the second one is issued?
Yeah, that should be the case, definitely.
Did Mr. Bojang retire?
No, I cannot tell.
Why is that?
Because I cannot remember from the accounts any retirement that was submitted by Kemo Bojang.
Do you have the culture of councillors retiring monies that are given to them?
They are supposed to retire, but it is usually difficult to make them retire.
Why?
When you ask them, they tell you that we will do it, and that will be it. Every time you remind them, we will do it. In certain cases, especially in the case of the payment of the ward development funds,
yes,
we make them to retire because they know that when they don't retire, they won't be paid.
Yeah, but for
the amount due.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Even for the ward development funds, these are paid to the accounts of the ward development, not in their personal capacity, I think.
Yes, they are paid in the accounts of the ward development committee.
Yes, committee itself. Even though there still has to be retirement.
Yes.
But now, this one, you have councillors being paid monies directly.
Yes.
For requests that they will put up.
That's right.
Correct? Can I have those vouchers, the two vouchers?
But if you look at the request.
Yes.
So here I was asked to please process.
Please read the request.
Yeah, the request is I write this letter in the request of support for disabled and hard hearing young people.
Yes.
At the St. John's School for the Deaf, which I plan to do in collaboration with the disabled councillor. In the form of transparent face masks to help them communicate and function better in these times of COVID-19. So there is the second paragraph. There is no one size. There is no one size fit all approach to communication.
Right.
Nor is there a typical deaf person. Each individual is unique and brings their own set of communication needs and preferences based on the setting and purpose of the interaction. Determining how to communicate effectively is a joint effort shared by both the deaf individual and the hearing individual. In this project, we plan on supporting the Girls' Pride organization who have invented these masks, as it has gone through the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority. They are sold at $150 each, and we plan to support them with 100 masks.
Who wrote the letter?
This is from the Youth Council of Kemoboja.
And who is it addressed to?
To the Lord Mayor, Kanifing Municipal Council.
And did the Lord Mayor minute that request?
Yes, the Lord Mayor minuted here, CEO. It's difficult to read his writing though, but I want to believe this is please process support from youth. Is it youth budget or something like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
yeah, youth budget, as soon as possible.
Is the amount verified? The $150 is for a mask verified?
I cannot tell that.
You cannot tell. There's no evidence of it being verified in the voucher.
That's right.
And so a payment was made to him. Is that an impress? Do you classify that as an impress given to Mr. Bojang? Or where do you classify that payment?
We have a budget line.
Yes.
Wherein we support the disabled.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I want to clarify it as support.
Yes.
Yes.
But then there has to be a classification of payment. And it would not be proper to make these payments to the councillors themselves. Councillors are not supposed to be receiving monies from the area council. Because there's a procurement process.
Yes.
Is that not the case?
That's right.
So what is the procurement process of council, in council?
This amount?
No, the general procurement process in council.
Yeah, is the administration who should undertake the procurement process, even if the request comes from the councillors.
Yes.
Once it is approved, they should go and wait for the administration to carry out the procurement process and ask them to come and collect the items that they requested for.
Exactly. So
yes.
why pay it to the councillor?
Well, like I said, this is something I found there, and that's what they always do. They come with these requests to your office, and I want you to pay in their names.
But could you not have refused it at the time?
Please repeat that question.
Could you not have refused it at the time?
Could it not have been?
Could you not have refused the application or the request?
It was going to be difficult.
Why?
It was going to be difficult, you know, because you don't want to be in their bad books.
What do you mean by that?
You try to safeguard your peace in that environment as much as possible.
So if you refuse the request, what do you presuppose will happen? What do you think will happen?
From antagonization to sabotage, all kinds of things.
Okay, but the issue here again, what I have a problem with, and may I please have those the vouchers? What I have a problem is with, I understand that very well, but again, we are employed. I understand the difficulty, the situation, but we also have to bear in mind that we are employed in this public service to make sure, even in the most difficult times, we follow the rules. Is that not the case? Yes, and that would be by making them to retire. Not even to retire. Retire is at the last stage. For instance, if you look at the impressed column, not everybody is given impressed, and there has to be a situation for it. Yes. But this is not even in relation to councillors. For instance, it says on page 52, 701, if it is necessary for any officer of council to have money in his or her disposal for disbursement on public service for which the usual pre-authorization procedure cannot apply. Maybe in a matter of urgency, here and there, it cannot apply. Such officer may be given imprest. All imprest must be authorized by the CEO, who will prescribe the terms and conditions under which imprest may be approved. You understand that?
Yes.
There's a procedure for imprest as well when it is being issued, and all the way to retirement.
Yes.
There has to be an imprest ledger as well.
Yes, I agree.
To record all the details.
Exactly.
Up to the time of retirement. But this doesn't even apply to councillors. Let's imagine you have a situation where every councillor, how many councillors do you have in KMC?
We have 19 wards.
19 wards.
Yes, but we have nominated councillors, and KMO is
so
part of the nominated councillors.
Let's say about 20 or thereabout.
I think it's about
more than 20.
Yeah, about 22.
22, 23.
Yes.
26.
23. Yes.
So, but let's say you have that number, and for every councillor, they can just send a request and monies are paid to them in their account. That will definitely defeat the purpose of accountability entirely.
Council, myself, I had an issue with this approach when I was there, because I cannot understand giving the councillors the ward development funds for the year, and they still come back to make these petty requests. Yes.
Now, aside from this, I believe you now have your statement.
Yes, I do.
Please confirm that that's your statement and your additional statement.
Okay. Yes, this is my statement.
That's your statement and the additional statement as well?
Yes, yes.
We apply to tender the statement of the witness dated the 2nd of March 2020. And there is an additional statement attached to that.
Yes.
24th of May 2023, correct?
That's right.
And
another one.
Yes, and a further additional statement on the 6th of September 2024, all to be admitted into evidence as exhibit.
The witness statement dated the 6th of September 2024, made by Senabu Martin Sonko, and the additional witness statement made on the 6th of September 2024 are all admitted together in evidence as exhibit, and they are marked as LGC/SMS/KMC/001.
As the commission persists. Now, in your statement of the 2nd of March 2020, you were trying to explain your relationship with the administration when you took over as CEO.
Yes.
And your working experience with Jaya Cham and the mayor.
Yes.
Correct? You had explained the handing over process. In fact, by the way, was there a formal handing over?
Yes, there was a formal handing over.
Do you have a copy of the handing over?
I searched for it here. I would have been able to provide the copy, but because of the fact that I was locked out of my office, I don't think I would be able to do that, because I left some files in that office, which when I returned, I could not trace them.
Okay.
Yes.
We will get to the issue regarding.
Yes, but there was a formal handing over. Yes, an inventory of the office.
The last paragraph of the first page, you said, Jaya Cham too, on the other hand, when he was handing over to me, advised me to be careful in dealing with the mayor, because he is somebody who uses people and dump them when he is done with them. Jaya Fora advised me to always be careful of what I sign on behalf of the mayor, because he could instruct me verbally to sign payments that are not supposed to be paid by the council. What were you trying to explain here?
I am trying to raise the fact that they make you, if you are CEO, they make you to do things that you don't want to do or you are not happy of doing. And if you don't comply, they will make sure that they put you in trouble and dump you.
I ask this question because it's in relation to the authority for expenditure.
Yes.
And who gives the authority, how it is given, whether it is verbal, whether it is written, whether you have the independent environment to decide how you make payments and who you pay to, and then and what is the structure. So is that what you are trying to explain here?
Yes, that is exactly what I am trying to explain here, that in terms of payments, they want you to pay payments that they want you to pay, regardless.
Who is they that you refer
to? The mayor and his councillors. Yes.
Now,
because like I mentioned here, when Jaja was handing over to me, he pointed out that clear, that let me be careful, because at the time I also understood that Jaja was very angry, because the mayor himself told me that when I reported.
Told you what?
That Jaja desperately wanted to be appointed as the CEO of the council, that he named his child after him, after the mayor. But the mayor told me that he told Jaja he could not help him to be appointed as the CEO. So Jaja was disappointed. I think if I can recall his statements clearly, he said, if Jaja was not angry, then Jaja was disappointed. So he said, let me be very careful of Jaja. So that was my first interaction, my first briefing. So I think the handing over took place a day or so later. And Jaja too, when he was handing over to me, he mentioned these statements to me, to be careful of the mayor. He is someone who uses you and then dump you at the end of the day. And let me be particularly careful of payments that he instructs verbally.
This is the problem. Could you not have avoided the idea that it all started with the issue of not following the manual, of not making sure everyone stops where they have to stop? For instance, as CEO, as the chief executive officer, you have certain functions even though you are answerable to council, which is good, because then there would be a clear check and balance. You understand that?
Yes.
But if you are to go every morning and brief the mayor every single morning as CEO, and the payments are here, you have to get approval, yes, you can pay this, you can pay X, Y, and Z, without making sure you have expressed in some situations, it is always a problem.
Council, I just started working for the council at the time. It's a totally new environment for me. I have never worked in any local government jurisdiction before. I have spent half of my career at state parastatals like GAMTEL, GAMCEL, then to GBOS. So when I came and I was received with open arms, so I thought that was good for a start. You know, I believe as I settle in, I will try to turn things around, because like people say, if you want to change a system, you must pretend to be part of the system so that you will understand what actually obtains in that system. You know the challenges, you know the faults, and then you try to come up with solutions or recommendations to change the system. So this is what I was trying to do, and at the same time I was learning as well.
Yes, I may agree with the second limb, the second part, not the first one. The first one, I think, definitely, it may be convenient in relation to trying to change the system, but doing it gradually. But then, probably it hasn't worked anywhere. You understand? It doesn't seem to be very functional. Because the day you accept it once, twice, and then you want to do things differently, it is always difficult. So on page 5 of your statement, you were still explaining the issue regarding the approvals, the issue regarding the working environment, and you gave an example in the last paragraph of the 5th page regarding the issue between you, I believe the Mayor Jaya Cham, and Salaman Jai. You recall Salaman Jai?
Yes.
You said that the mayor began assigning tasks directly to other directors without my knowledge, and I would be required to approve payments of such activities that I had no idea about. This was the direct interference in my job. It got to a point he was constantly reminding me of Salaman Jai, former acting CEO before Jaya Cham, and how they dealt with her when she was going against the council. This is one of the general meetings. In one of the general meetings, he asked the clerk of council to refer to their earliest resolutions in which they resolute not to work with Salama, and then added that the general council can decide to resolute not to work with a particular CEO if they are not happy with him or her. This is in your statement.
Yes.
Can you please explain?
Like I said, when I came in, it was smooth. We were trying to coexist. But as things unfold, and I started realizing that they were directed me towards a certain direction that was not desirable for me to go in as CEO.
Yes.
We started having our differences. At that time, this issue of intimidation came in. Yes. So the slightest chance that the mayor has, or the slightest opportunity he has, he will mention Salaman Jai, that Salaman Jai was a stubborn CEO. I understood that Salama was only acting CEO, and she was appointed by the council to act as CEO. Her appointment was not from the local government service commission. So you see that they had a high degree of control over her. So he used to reference Salaman Jai's issue that Salama was stubborn, and when they got fed up with her, they had to resolute or pass a general council resolution to not work with her, according to what the mayor explained. But from what I heard from the council, from staff of the council, even before the resolution was passed, Salama tendered her resignation letter and walked out. She was not even present at the meeting that the mayor kept referencing.
So were you worried about that you could have the same fate?
The way I saw it was just intimidation.
So
obviously I was worried. I would be worried.
The appointment of a CEO. Who appoints the CEO?
The local government service commission.
And once you are appointed, there's also a procedure for your removal.
Exactly.
Correct? Yes. So the area council, they do not have the right to appoint or even an acting CEO. They don't. I stand to be corrected. But they don't have that right to decide unilaterally who they want and who they do not want. They can take part in the process. The mayor can, or the chairperson, or the mayors, as the case may be, can take part in the process, make recommendations. But they don't decide who should be the CEO.
Definitely.
And they don't decide who should be the acting CEO.
Definitely.
But so why should it be a problem? If you look at section 45 of the act, it says the council may recommend to the local government service commission the removal of a chief executive or clerk, as the case may be, on any of the following grounds. It has to be abuse of office, A. Paragraph B, incompetence. C, misconduct. Or D, such physical or mental incapacity as would render him or her incapable of performing the functions of his or her office. Do you see this?
Yes, I have it. I am familiar with that provision. I have a copy of the Local Government Act here.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Speak into the mic.
Yes, I said I am familiar with that provision of the Local Government Act. I have a copy of it and I reference it most of the time. So, but at the same time, I was required also to be reporting to the council. So I understood that they did not have the powers to remove the CEO or appoint a CEO. They can only make recommendations. But upon making recommendations, their recommendations can be considered and honored by the...
Why is that a problem? If you are found to be incompetent or in an abuse of office or any form of misconduct,
I was on probation.
No, I'm not saying you. I haven't gotten to your point yet regarding the reason why you left council. I'm just saying, as a CEO generally, if any CEO is found to fall within this section 45 regarding issues of abuse of office or incompetence or misconduct or any issue with respect to your health or your physical condition that may render you not to perform your functions well, they will be right to recommend that you be removed.
Yes.
That is for the public good. Is that not the case?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So I mean, it has to be within these issues. Nothing outside that. Not at the discretion, entire discretion of council to say, because you are stubborn as a CEO, we don't want to work with you. That would not be a sufficient ground.
That was used a lot. That was mentioned over and over in my presence until I became fed up of it. And at that time, I was still on probation. So, you know, if you are on probation, your employment can be terminated.
Yes.
Easily. So I was trying to...
Not easily. I don't agree with that.
No, if they present to the commission that they are not satisfied with my work,
yes,
or my approach to work, so it will be difficult. That's the way I understood it. It would be difficult for me to defend myself at that time because I was not confirmed in the position. So I was trying to manage.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, I was trying to manage and maneuver in the setup.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand clearly the situation at the time. But I'm just saying, moving forward, the idea is we have to resort back to the laws that create the institutions and our positions, the TOR, what should be done in so and so. And we must trust the process.
That's right.
There is a local government service commission. You must trust those who are appointed in that position to do the right thing. So you don't have to dance at the tune of any individual just because they are not satisfied with you. The idea is you must trust the process. And it's not a problem, I always say, to have you reported that they don't want to work with you because they're not satisfied. They have to establish the fact that these are the reasons as to why they are not satisfied. Do you understand that?
I do.
And so any employee in a public service must trust our process. I know it's difficult to do that, to leave your fate in the hands of men, but you have to. That's why we have these institutions.
It's difficult to do that, particularly in a situation when you are made to believe that they are connected. They are connected to the people in charge. Whatever they wish for could be honored. Yes.
Now you came in and there were issues you had to deal with. We had dealt with some of the vouchers that were paid, and they were paid unlawfully. And we also have in relation to, but by the way, before we proceed in relation to the vouchers, it's important for you to know that the CEO, the financial manual says the CEO, and again, it depends on the commissioners what they make up in relation to the circumstances surrounding it for any CEO or any finance director in relation to payments that were honored that did not follow due process. But just to tell you, like I've been telling other CEOs that appeared before you, it will just be fair to say that when a CEO approves a payment and it did not follow due process, the responsibility will be on the CEO and the finance director. Is this something you know?
Yes,
okay.
As the chief accounting officer.
Yes. So it's just important to point that out.
Council, can I point out just one little information before we proceed? Still on the issue between Jaja and the mayor. So I was made to believe that, like I said, he's informed me that he was happy that I was eventually appointed as the CEO.
Yes.
But later I learned, and people told me that, be careful, he is pretending that he wants you to be the CEO, but actually he wanted Jaja to be the CEO. He did everything possible within his means to make sure that Jaja became the CEO. But when that was not possible, when I came in, he started showing me a different color, pretending that he appreciated me. And this was confirmed here when the PS, the former PS, local government, Buba Sanyang, when he testified. I was keenly following his testimony, and he said that my problem with the mayor started on the date of my interview. So what I was told at the council by the people has been confirmed when Buba Sanyang testified that the Lord Mayor fought for Jaja to be appointed as CEO. He never wanted me to be appointed as the CEO.
That could be true. Yes. We all have preferences. That could be true, and it's very relevant. My issue again is that Mr. Buba Sanyang had an issue with the mayor, with KMC. Let me say with KMC, and they had the back and forth with relation to your issue.
But he was present at the interview.
Yes, he was present at the interview, and there's a back and forth between the Ministry of Local Government and Lands and KMC in relation to your issue as to your removal or the denial of the assumption of your duties as CEO. You understand that? And yes, the PS said that and explained the situation. Now, your statement, on the second page, you were explaining about the policy issues in council when you took over, and this led to the issue of the loan and the allegations of bribery we will get into. And this is your second paragraph where you were explaining about some of the policy issues, medical bills and so on and so forth. You said, nevertheless, I settled into my job. The staff began seeing me to request for financial support in terms of loan facility to enable them acquire shelter, medical bills, payment, and related family matters. Being someone with vast experience in administration and human resource management, I immediately inquired if there exists a policy in the council and that guides the administration of staff welfare in the council. Now, was there a medical policy or any form of loan policy in council when you took over in relation to staff issues?
Yes, that is the confusion I am trying to explain. There existed a medical policy and loan policy before.
In writing? In writing?
There was a medical policy. I want to believe in, because what happened was when the current council came in 2018, they passed a resolution to put an embargo on medical and loans to staff. Yes. So I want to believe there was a policy.
Before 2018, you mean? You mean before 2018 there was a policy?
Before 2018.
And in 2018 there's an embargo on that?
Yes, when they came in.
Okay, so how did you deal with the situation?
Please.
How did you deal with the situation when staffs were coming to you in relation to these kind of issues, medical issues?
Yes, from my experience, from my previous workplace,
yes,
we always have a working document that advise
yes,
the administration on how to approach those matters. So the first thing I did when I started receiving such requests, I engaged the management. Is there a policy or a regulation somewhere in the council that can help us tackle these issues? So I was informed that actually there was a policy, but when the new council came in, they put an embargo on it and on the staff loans as well. Okay. So I was stuck at that time. I didn't know what to do except to refer back to the council through the chairperson, yes, the finance committee, Councillor Karamu.
Yes.
Yes.
And then what was the nature?
I engaged him on what I heard from the staff, and he confirmed that yes, that was the case. They put an embargo on it, and I advised him that you don't come and stop these kind of things without providing an alternative.
Yes.
Yes. You just leave it like that. Everybody got stuck. So I advised him that don't you know that with the loans, the council can gain some profit out of it, no matter how minimal it would be at the end of the day. So I told them, I advised them that that was not the right approach. They could have, they could have looked into the issue holistically and try to come up with solutions than just putting an embargo. Yes. Now the administration is stuck because I cannot go, because the reason why we had some really serious cases that happened. I remember there was this staff, a female staff, I think by the name Sarah Conte, and her son was operated on. I think the son had a gum issue, and during the operation there was a mistake, and they had to travel to Dakar. She came to my office with the pictures of what transpired at the hospital and crying. I didn't know what to do because there was already an embargo. I could not go against the embargo. And if we are going to give her a salary advance, she would not be given more than up to $3,000 because the salary was just about $5,000. And when you give somebody salary advance, it has to be within 40% of their take home. At the end of the day, they have to go with 60% of their take home as their disposable income. So there was nothing I could do in that regard, and eventually what happened was I had to refer her to the Staff Welfare Association. I think that is one of the things that triggered my interaction with the Staff Association Welfare to help her out.
So was there at any point where staffs or councillors were given medical support at any point that you are aware of during your time?
Numerous.
Without even with the embargo?
Without the policy, with the embargo, and I found them giving them advances of 80,000. There was a councillor who was giving up to 100 and something thousand, 150.
For?
Loan, a salary advance they call it, but that is not salary advance.
During your time or before you arrived?
Before I assumed the position of the CEO.
Of CEO?
I found them deducting those councillors for those.
If you were asked?
Monies as salary advances.
Councillors?
Yes.
What do they have? Allowances or salaries?
They have allowances. They don't have salary.
And are they entitled to allowance advancement?
Depending on the arrangement, but just 60% of your take, within 40% of your take home.
That's for the staff.
Because the labor law states that as an employee, you must not deduct up to more than 50% of the staff take home.
And they are not employees?
Yes.
They are not employees. They are not in that category. Again, I stand to be corrected, but they are not in that category.
Yes, but if there is an understanding, because situations arise. But
who would approve advances coming from councillors?
The mayor, of course. When I was there, anything from them, I made so that he endorsed.
He endorses?
Yes.
Madam Sonko.
Yes, yeah.
You have just said to the Commission that if there is an understanding, the councillors are elected, and I believe what they are to receive is allowance, right?
Allowance, yes.
And going by the financial manual, did you come across where they would be entitled to health, insurance, and loans? Did you come across that?
No.
Then why? Let me put it this way: during your time, did you approve any loans or medical schemes for councillors? Yes,
during my time, because like I mentioned, they already started that arrangement there. I found.
But Madam Sonko, they already started, and as CEO, I believe that you took it upon yourself to find out what is in the financial manual.
That's right.
To help guide you, even though you are not an accountant, right? And even though you found the practice, do you think it was prudent on your side to continue to do what is not contained in the financial manual? No,
Madam Chair, but I tried to control it as much as possible because I was emphasizing on the 60% take home. So when they come with amounts more than 60%, I really raise my concern.
But you have just told us that councillors, and there are evidence to that effect, that we are giving 100,000, more than 100,000.
Yes.
And some were paid direct monies,
yes,
for activities in their wards. When specifically, you understand, the legislations have provided that they should be provided with funding, and they identify as a matter of priority the areas that they will expend this money on. So, for example, if a councillor comes to say, I want to expend on a football field or something, this is something that you need to capture in your ward plan to say, for this year, this is what we want to engage in.
Exactly. That is how it should be, Madam Chair. Before the budgeting is done for the year, they are supposed to bring in their ward development priorities. And once those ward development priorities are approved by the council, would be captured in the budget to be implemented for that year.
Yes.
But when they do that, when they do that, they still come around with these requests often.
Now, during your time, you have said, I just want you to confirm that you continue to give support for medical to the staff. Is that correct? And loans to the staff. Is that correct?
Yeah. Even with that, if you look at the situation of the staff that I just explained.
Yes, but
she was
just let me comment. There was a resolution to the effect, right?
Please come.
I said there was a resolution to that effect.
Yes.
Saying that there should be no support.
Yes.
For loans and for medical support.
Yes.
And you saw the resolution, right?
The resolution, I did not see it, but it was confirmed. Everybody said it. The councillor in charge of the...
So why didn't you see the resolution so that you would be guided as to exactly what council has resoluted upon, rather than taking decisions on your own in contravention of what you said you have been told to be existing?
Madam Chair, definitely the resolution existed, because the first complaint I received when I joined the council was that resolution. Because I found staff in a really distressful situation.
So you will agree with me that it was wrong on your side to have acted against the said resolution?
I did not act against the said resolution. I found them acting against the said resolution because
and you also acted against the said resolution.
Based on, because whatever I do has to be approved by the mayor. Yes. So based on the advice from the mayor, because they are the one who put this resolution in, and they turn around to go against the resolution. So I had a big issue with that, especially when there was a councillor.
Now, please note, you will go back to council and request that they should provide you with the said resolution.
The resolution.
Yes, please. Okay. Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Okay.
Yes. So we have this issue with KMSCSWA. Your relationship as a mayor with the Staff Welfare Association. Can you explain how it started?
Please repeat the question.
Your relationship as CEO with the Staff Association. How did you start having contact with the Staff Welfare Association? What was your role as CEO up to the time that they had to request for a guarantee from you?
Yes, I mentioned here that there was this particular case, and that triggered my interaction with the Staff Welfare Association, because I referred that lady, the lady whose son had the gum problem.
Is your microphone on? I'm not sure.
I am speaking into it.
Okay.
And it's on?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay, so I referred that lady to the Staff Welfare Association when the administration could not intervene.
Yes.
And when the Staff Welfare Association was contacted, so they came in and I think supported her with some amounts, but even that was not enough. And then they pointed out that all this is as a result of the loans, the embargo on loans and on medical policy. If there was a medical policy, that lady would not need to go to the welfare to be supported to treat her son. Yes. So after that, because of the issues were many, the executive started visiting me. They requested for an appointment, which I...
That is the Staff Welfare Association?
Yes, the Staff Welfare Executive.
And it is your evidence, again, correct me if I am wrong, that the embargo, even though it was in place, but in practice it only applies to the staff. But
exactly.
But then the councillors were still benefiting.
Councillors were still benefiting because they came up with an alternative for themselves. They were giving themselves loans, which I would not call an salary advance, because you cannot have a salary advance of $80,000 when your salary is about $15,000 a month.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Please proceed.
So when the executive requested for an appointment, I accorded them the opportunity. We engaged in my office, and they explained a lot of constraints that they were encountering at the time in terms of helping the staff. Number one was the low contribution by the staff to the Welfare Association, and even though there was a constitution, but the lack of proper and a clear vision of where they wanted to go. And so all those things started coming up in my discussions with them to a point that they started seeing me as an advisor and to help them take the Staff Welfare Association to another level. And this I was able to do because of my experience at GAMTEL. When I was at GAMTEL, the experience I had, or I saw this Welfare Association doing at that time at GAMTEL. So I explained all of those things to them and they bought the ideas. So we started planning on how to come together, the administration, because they acknowledged the fact that management was not supporting them. I recall Bakari Jawo, the president of the welfare at the time, particularly stated this out to me that CEO, if we had a CEO like you before, the situation will not be like it is right now. We would have gone past this stage that we are. So I listened to them, and I also relayed their concerns and the request for support that they were looking forward to from management to the mayor. Yes.
You had an issue with respect to a plot of land that they wanted to purchase for the benefit of the staff.
Yes.
Do you recall this?
The land that was...
On page 3, you said, the second paragraph, that to this end, KMCSWA already had an agreement with one Aliu Danso,
yes,
a Gambian national, for the sale of 167 plots of land at $60,000 per plot.
Yes.
Situated in Gunjur, Kachume, that we have availed the staff in the Department of Service. Incidentally asked other staff of the council land about this development. They also requested to be considered, and eventually the number increased to 190 plots, but the additional plots was to come from Kitty, for which we had been paying him as well. Please explain this issue regarding.
Yes, so in the case of this land from Aliu Danso, I found Aliu Danso already dealing with the council in the passing of Jaja Cham.
Yes.
Yes, and Aliu, they had an agreement with Aliu that was not signed at the time. So when I came in newly as the CEO...
an agreement with Aliu? Who had an agreement with Aliu?
I believe the agreement was supposed to be the management.
Yes.
To have an agreement with Aliu for Aliu to provide these lands to the the staff, particularly the laborers.
Yes.
The laborers, those at the lower level. Yeah.
But it was not signed.
It was not signed. And one fine morning, Jaja walked into my office with Aliu Danso. That was the first time I set eyes on Aliu Danso.
Yes.
And he explained the agreement the management had with Danso, and he could not go ahead to sign it because at the time the CEO position was being advertised. You know, he was hoping that a new CEO was coming. So he stayed action on it according to what he explained to me. Then I reviewed the agreement and I was not satisfied.
Why?
Because the documents that were presented were not in order. I have been fortunate to have a husband who was working at the Department of Lands and Service, and I had experienced a lot of land issue cases through my husband. You see a particular individual who has been sold a piece of land and he has to fight with 2 or 3 other people
yes.
for the ownership of that land.
Yes.
And the fraudulent activities that are involved in land issues.
Yes.
So I was worried about that and I didn't want to go ahead. So what I did not even consider the request.
Yes.
So I told them that leave it here, I will consider it. After that, after they left, I just shelved it. I did not refer to it again until about a month or so later, the Director of Services, Lamin Sanyang, came to my office and how to put it again, inquired about the proposal. And he explained that he was pleading with me to reconsider my position because the staff involved the laborers who find it difficult to be able to afford a piece of land if they are to buy it for themselves, cash and carry.
Yes.
So the only option was to help them to have an arrangement whereby it will be deducted from their salaries monthly. So I listened to Mr. Sanyang, then I referred back to the request.
Yes.
But I was not satisfied with what the Director of Services explained. So I took the documents. I took the documents home and I gave them to my husband and I asked him to review and advise me. He advised me that if the council invests in this land, you are going to lose your monies. Because number one, it is only an alcalos transfer, and that one is even a copy. It's not an original. And the CEO of West Coast did not sign. So that means the transfer was not completed, and the owner of the land or the buyer, the seller did not pay their, how to call it, capital gain tax. So he advised me that not to go ahead with it. So I went back to the council and I informed the Director of Services. Jaja was not even following at that time. Now it was the Director of Services and his team. I remember Bolong Jaju and Lamin F. Baji, who were really active in following up with my office regarding this land issue. So at the same time, I was also engaging with the staff welfare on the issue of this embargo on loans and stuff like that. And we had an understanding that now we want to come up with a new approach in managing the affairs of the Staff Welfare Association, like investing in real estate. Those discussions were also going on along the side. So when it got to a point that I wanted to consider, I informed them that I cannot have a direct agreement with Danso.
I think it's a convenient point to stop. The RTS is taking the signal. Okay. We will come back after the break.